I want people listening to this to like go to their group chats and be like, I just randomly just be like, Tiger Woods was so good in the 2000s. You know, just a reminder.
Fore-play, presented by Barstool Sports. We got myself, Frankie, and Trent. Dan is out. I think he's still over in Europe. But we're back. We got new hats on sale. So just a little reminder, I don't know if we've plugged the store in a while, but we're always putting new stuff up there and all the cool stuff that we've put up before that maybe you saw, you didn't grab at the time. You thought maybe next time I get a paycheck or maybe next time somebody's not looking, I'll grab that. Store.barstoolsports.com. You go to the little Fore-play link, and we got these cool rope hats. We love a nice rope hat.
That thing's clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 47 brand, super nice. It's got a lot of integrity to it. The inside's beautiful. If you look at the inside, my hair's all over the place, but it's got like the really nice stitching. But then this thing right here on the forehead, it's nice and comfy. I'm trying to show it. It stops a lot of sweating too that goes through it.
It's a great hat, and we got a bunch of different styles on there. This is our newest. It's very nice, clean, high integrity, as Frankie said. Been a big day for YouTube golf with one of the bigger videos that ever will go out, which is Bryson and Donald Trump, 45th president of the United States, current front runner to win the presidency this year, has talked a ton about his golf game over the years. We've seen a lot of funny clips. We've seen a lot of funny headlines. I'll never forget when they opened Trump Ferry Point out in the Bronx. We were living in New York and all that. And it was that on opening day on like the 12th hole, par 3, Trump got a hole in one. You've heard him mention all the time he's club champion. I think that one of his great reasonings for how he is a smart and tough person that could run the country is because he's won multiple club championships, not just the senior ones, but the actual ones. And so there's his game is on display on YouTube with Bryson, and his game's pretty fucking solid, it looked like, to be honest with you.
I haven't watched it yet. Okay. But could you have a bigger guest on a video right now? No. I don't think it gets bigger than that.
No. I think at any given time, you could argue that Donald Trump is the most famous person in the world, and especially right now. I mean, he was almost assassinated a week and a half ago. A debate that he was half of is the reason for one of the greatest shakeups and 3-week stretches dramatically in political history. And that's right now. I would say even 2 years ago, you could have maybe argued he was the most famous person in the world when he was in like a lull period.
Yeah, I mean, it's got 1 million views in 5 hours, and that's just our side seeing it. So it could be at 2 or 3 million already when you go through the back end of YouTube. It usually takes like 24 hours to 48 hours for it to really start to populate what the actual number is for the viewer. So, I mean, that's an absolute bomb of a video. Shout out to Bryson. And I am seeing now he's got to deal a lot with, like, it's tough because the conspiracy theorists and everything that's happening right now, the world is such a fucking crazy place. They're all just like using that video to say that Donald Trump clearly didn't get shot in the ear because he has both his ears intact. And now, like, it's almost being used as like propaganda for like the extreme left and all, like, to be like, oh, look, his ear's fine. This was all a lie. And it's getting millions of likes. Meanwhile, he filmed that like July 5th. Right. So, you know what I mean?
I was
like,
going to say,
no one's understanding like what happened. And like, they're using the video like, oh, it came out today. And this happens to us all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They'll put out a video in Scotland and people will be like, are you in Scotland? Like, come to this pub. It's like,
dude,
we were
the
there
DMs,
6 months ago.
The whole response will be like, bro, if you guys are still here, how about you jump on over? We'll get dinner together. You're like, no, this literally took weeks, if not months of editing. What are you talking about?
So yeah, he's getting caught in the weeds with that. He just
that was
going to
happen regardless. But
he
it's
just
like
tweeted out like it didn't happen. Like it was. He's like, it's before I went like away overseas. Like it's. Yeah, he's got to really explain a lot of it, but what a video, man. Shout out to him and his team. I don't know how. I mean, I understand. He won the US Open. I can't believe Trump went on a YouTube golf video. It's so crazy to me.
Well, that was my takeaway is like, Bryson, leave something for us, dude. Like,
yeah,
you're winning at the highest level. You won a US Open. You've won 2 of them. You're one of the greatest golfers on planet Earth. And you're also like, I'm going to be awesome at this YouTube thing and have great ideas and have the biggest guests in the world. He's murdering us.
And they shot what, like 22 under or something?
I mean, I think they shot like 50 on the number. I think Trump made the putt on the last hole to like tie his record with Garrett, I think is the record was when they shot 50 on the number. So This episode is presented by our great friends, our great presenting sponsor at Chevy. You get the crew together, you head off to the course, and you got to do it in the new 2024 Chevy Traverse. Go to chevy.com/Traverse. You can build your own, but I just want you to go to this link and look at this machine. You know, we get this podcast gets off the rails occasionally, especially this show. We start talking about how miraculous it is that we're even here. To think that people could have come from horse and buggy to the 2024 Chevy Traverse is an honest miracle, I would say.
Yeah, you need a big hefty car nowadays. You drive around, there's crazy people all over the place. I'm not going to be low to the ground. I'm going to be in a Traverse. I'm going to be feeling like I'm at the helm. I'm the one that's commanding the road, and you have a nice big meaty truck. And at the end of the day, on the inside, it's all the stuff that you've ever wanted. It used to be that you needed to get these like fancy sport cars to get those interiors and those infotainment systems. And the big manly trucks, whatever you might want to call them, they were kind of just like skin and bones. You know what I mean? There was no flash to them. There was no pizzazz. Now you're getting these things. Honestly, some of the best and the only time you can get some of those features is in a car like the Traverse. Trust me, I've done my shopping.
The standard best-in-class 17.7-inch diagonal color touch screen, 3-row SUVs. It's as good as it gets. AutoSense power liftgate. Traverse has elevated the tech game. It's kind of what we're talking about. You can't believe how sophisticated this thing is on the inside. You don't have to leave anything behind because the redesigned Traverse offers best-in-class max cargo volume and seating up for 8 passengers. Not to mention the RS comes standard with the one-touch automatic second row and power folding third row. So technology combined with Chevy, iconic, bow tie, Chevrolet. Head over to chevy.com/Traverse to build your own and learn more. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. I've been getting tagged in the putting stroke just relentlessly on my Instagram. It's relentless. On Twitter, it's relentless. Yeah.
Dude, so, that's better than getting tagged in what I was getting tagged in. I was getting tagged in that that guy standing on the fucking subway. Alex, can you pull this up? It's like it's that Biden-Harris subway person.
Well, I was going to say, do you just want to come out and endorse Kamala? Like, is that what you want to do on this?
First of all, this
podcast?
person had Harris 2024 shirt on hours after
the day. Yeah, right. I mean, I don't think Biden had hit send yet on that tweet where he resigned.
This picture, I mean, everyone's been sending it to me. Golfers have been sending it to me. Professional athletes have been sending it to me. It's truly just a real shame that I look like this person. And I was going to tweet out something. I just didn't want to get in the weeds. I'm like not trying to get in the weeds right now. I had a whole tweet sent out, like ready to go, being like, man, I was going to make fun of myself, so it would have done it right. But I was going to throw one dagger in there. I was going to be like, it really doesn't. What was I going to say? I was going to say that person's clearly not me. He/him clearly has bigger arms. Like that was going to be my big thing, and I deleted it. I didn't want any part of it. But the person had very skinny arms, and I was just like, I don't want any part of that video or that picture. Here it is. That's the one I was getting tagged in. I'm not. When I tell you, almost every person I talk to on a given day. Right? Like if I talk to 7 people like throughout the day all the time, every single one of them sent that to me. Look at that. Look at that person. That is kind of my face and my body type.
That's your face
with the little belly arms, too.
That's
if I had a hat, if that guy had a hat on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If he had like a nice tight fitting high integrity hat on, golf hat. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. And you're right. It's not even worth it because it is a good time. It's weird. It's a good time for political humor, but it's also the worst time for political humor. If you try to get involved, it's a dumpster fire. But
yeah,
it seems like if you do it, it's really fun to be on the right and making political jokes. If you're on the left making political jokes, it comes off as super lame. And you get caught in the middle of that and you're like, I don't even know what to do with any of this.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Dave talks about this too. There's no swaying anyone. So like at this point, it's uncharted waters of like, anyone can let anything rip. Like even if I sent out like a really nasty tweet, nothing's really going to happen anymore. Nothing Like we're so far gone between like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Like it's so the waters have been so muddied at this point that there is no like, oh, I thought like you'd like keep it like kind of neutral. Like we still have people on this platform that like you need to make decisions for themselves. Like you're either one way or the other now. It's so divided. It's so fucking crazy. And I don't know. Hopefully one day it gets more united. But at this point, it is what I'm seeing on Twitter, man.
Oh,
like X, I know Elon like really praised like X becoming like an amazing place for news, but like once that algorithm starts hitting you with one thing, if you read anything, like if I'm reading like a conspiracy theory about what happened at that rally, my whole entire For You thread is just psychotic, heavy right, like I'm like QAnon bullshit, like crazy stuff, and you can't get away from it. And then like you click away from it and there's like a person like shoving a dildo in their ass. It's nuts. I mean, X has become it's a wild, wild west, man. Now is that better because like they're not just like filtering stuff out? You can see anything. I don't know. I really don't know what the answer is. I just know it's a cesspool right now.
It's a crazy complicated question. And one thing I've done for a year or so, and sometimes it reverts back. I don't know how it does it. It does it automatically, clearly. But I just do the following tab, because if you do the For You tab,
but it opens up on For You, doesn't it?
No, if you open up on following enough, it'll default to following.
But you get trapped, right? You get caught where you don't realize it a lot. And for however long you've been scrolling, and then you look up at the top and you're like, motherfucker, I'm on the For You and I'm not on the following. And I've been seeing some crazy shit, and that makes a lot of sense. Shit. And it is. And if you're going to, because obviously I love the political shit. I've said for 3 weeks, I've been obsessed with this whole election ever since the debate. And if you're going to wade in, you just need to be willing to wade in, drop whatever you're going to drop, and then not look at it. Because if you look at it, it'll drive you insane. Because I know that you, Frankie, I know if you guys are weighing in, you're not trying to sway people to a certain side because you're some activist for the left or right. You're weighing in to just, it's political Twitter humor, and it's very popular right now. And if it's on your brain, you want to weigh in. That's how we're programmed.
I just opened it up. We're talking water tower snipers. I just opened it up. You got that? I scroll one more inch, and it's a dog just peeing all over the floor. It's chaos. Twitter has become an unfiltered cesspool.
I cannot tell you how many times on my phone that I've been scrolling on any of the 3 apps that I'm pretty much on, of the social apps. And I've seen someone crawling onto that roof being like, all right, we're here on the roof. Nuts. This is the view. I've seen that 50 different people I've seen doing that.
There was this old site, Live Leak. Do you guys remember that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That was some serious shit.
But that is kind of what it feels like Twitter is turning into.
I know. You can see people die on Twitter, and that's a really bad thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't want to open, like, God, what did I just see the other day? And I wish I didn't see it. Just like someone walking across a traffic stop, and someone just came in like 100 miles an hour and took them out. And it was just on Twitter. And I was like, I didn't need to see that. I don't want to see it. I can't believe that's on social media. Social media used to be a place, like today I tweeted out me flop-shotting a ball over, like flop-opotamusing a ball over a bunker. And I tweeted at Phil Mickelson. And I was like, maybe I can get a little response back. I don't want to see people die on that thing. You know what I mean? Like, let's make a couple jokes. Let's live tweet Jon Snow resurrecting from the dead during Game of Thrones. Let's talk about the Islanders not having good enough offensive defensemen on the blue line. Like, let's really get into engaging conversations. I don't want to see people dying.
That's where it becomes impossible for who do you trust to make that call of where the line is, Right. And I know. How biased is that person? What are they influenced by? What are they trying to agenda? Are they trying to push, whether conscious or not? And if they are trying to push a certain agenda, what are they going to suppress? That's not going to end up on your feed.
Well, that's AI's problem now. Who's in charge of AI? What's AI going to give you? You ask AI for an answer. You ever see this too? I mean, this is what Rogan says, but if you ask AI like about the history, sometimes they just like won't tell you the correct history. It's based off of like whoever set up that AI.
Right. No,
if you there's one AI, and I don't know if it was Google. I don't want to get misquoted here, but if you say like show me the founding fathers, it was like showing them all like black women as like George Washington, and like it was like great. So like Joe Rogan was like, this is like that's just incorrect. Like, it doesn't matter what you believe in or whatever. If you're like, that's not correct. So like, if that's what the future of AI is, whoever is setting that up, there could be children or whatever looking up history, whatever it might be, and they're just getting fed in misinformation. It's wild times out here. It's really wild times.
Well, and with
it is a golf podcast, but
with what like makes it to the mainstream person's desk, as we like to say on this show, used to be filtered by something that like was generally trusted in, and that was the news. There was only so many ways, like journalism. There's like only so many ways that certain things could get to you as a normal human or voter or American citizen. It was either like on TV, and there were only a handful of channels, or in a newspaper, and there were only a handful of newspapers. There were a couple local ones, and that was it. And in order for it to get to you through those mediums, there was a whole system, and you kind of, even if you distrusted the media to a degree, it was like, these people are professionals. This is what they're doing. If something's newsworthy or needs to get to me, they're going to get it to me. And that was kind of it. And now it's, dude, you can just go on there and you can find anything. You can find things you don't want to find. And it's all fed by an algorithm that is so obviously made by the smartest people, and that algorithm is driven to get you to the most heightened version of your reactions and senses, so that you engage with it, so that you fucking say shit to it. You say shit that's mad or happy, or you attack someone else, because then when you do, it gets everybody else going and attacks them. And that just churns and churns and churns and churns, and it produces what we've got, which is, I mean, it is a fucking cesspool out there.
I got into the weeds on a simulation theory the other day, and I haven't gotten into this in months, that like every day is a new simulation. Just like you would never know the difference, right? When you wake up, it's like a pre-programmed new simulation on how you're going to achieve that day. And we would never know the difference, because like whatever we wake up with could just be the pre-programmed stuff. Your memories, like whatever you thought was yesterday, the day before, all of the things that you think are real could just be a new simulation of what you were experiencing and how you're going to achieve that that simulation. Are you going to complete it? How are you going to do? Are whoever is setting it up, how are they, judging us based off what we do and what we don't do? That one started to get me a little bit, because like, you close your eyes and you go to this like other realm. You go to dream, you go to sleep. Like that to me is like a reset. You know what I mean? I don't know where I'm going. It really has been.
We might be a little too up our own asses with trying to figure out what's going on. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Yeah. I like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, I don't even know what that means.
But they've been trying to be up the asses of figuring out what's going on forever. It was gods. For a while, they had a chariot was taking the sun across the fucking sky, and that's why it would go up and down every day. Like they've been coming up with theories and shit for a long time. We just might be getting closer. Like we might.
I feel like we're as far as we've ever been.
Yeah. We also, we might be farther. That chariot thing might have been closer than the simulation theory.
Right.
Like you don't fucking know. And I will say, like, I think in the last few years, I will say that I have pretty much changed my belief into there is something beyond the very like clear basic science that is going on. I don't, I don't know if it's supernatural. I don't know if it's spirits or more like religiously related. I don't know if it's more tech and matrix related. I don't know if it's a combination, but I think it's beyond just we're stardust and then it happened to chemicals and all that shit came together and produced life, and a meteorite hit us and it's going to kill us, and then it's gone forever. I think there's something going on beyond that. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I think I'm with you on that, actually.
Something's really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think when I was a younger man, I was like just as atheist as you could get. And then as you get older, you're kind of like, I don't know, maybe there's something else.
It's just like you could always keep pushing back and being like, well, then how'd that get there? And then how'd that get there? And then how'd that get there? You could be the asshole in the back of the car being like, and then what? And then what? And then what? And then you really end up in the point where that person's just like, well, we don't know yet. Like there is no answer. No matter who you are, there is no.
I think we just
and also like there could you talk about gods or whatever. This is a golf podcast, and we're gonna shoot a little basketball into a hoop behind us. It's a very serious thing that we do here.
Yeah,
but like it could be like I think actually on the simulation podcast I listened to, they were like the universe could just be like whatever you claim the universe to be could be the God that you were thinking of. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be a person with like eyes and a beard.
No.
But like the entity that is the universe, like we say, like in the Bible and all these things, like the creation of light and water and humans and all of these things, right? And these rules, there are quite literally rules that need to happen. Certain cells have to work with other cells, and you need energy, and you need to go to sleep, and like the way that it all forms together, like the way our hearts beat and our brains work, like these are rules that have been set in place by the universe. So like if we just keep thinking that that's just a place, I think we might be like just misconceptualizing what it actually is. Like the universe is the thing. You know what I mean? Now, who's controlling that? I don't know. Or is like we keep saying who or like what? Like it could just be it. Like that is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm more in line with that than ever.
It's not a person being like blink, like button, but we want everything to be us.
The makes the most sense is the sun god, because the sun is like the most important thing. It wakes everything up. It gives everything life. It's like that would make sense.
Right. It's this magically powerful source of everything that exists that we've ever heard of. So I'm very much more in line with, I think, what you guys are both saying right now than I've ever been. And I would say I grew up originally, you know, like Lutheran, believing in God. That was great. And I remember getting to a point where I was like, well, I don't know that I'm not really that much of a believer in that. And I kind of went through an atheist phase. And then I started to kind of think, all right, you're telling me, and I believe that this is true, but you're telling me gigantic balls of matter that are like planets and suns just float magically around each other, millions of miles away from each other, affecting each other. And I believe that, and I do believe that. But I'm telling you, if that's true, then anything can be true, right?
Yes,
right.
That's right.
Like giant galaxies literally orbit around each other, just like Earth and the moon orbit around the sun. And I do believe that that's true. But the fact that alone is true is telling me right away, we don't know what the fuck is really going on.
None. Don't have a fucking clue.
There's no way.
I even think you're thinking too far away. Right here, man. In our own rooms. You're not touching anything. You know what I mean? All these like neutrons and protons and all these cells, like when you get to a cellular level, you know you're not actually touching anything. Nothing's real. Yeah. It's all just a bunch of cells together. Like, how's that even all that to me, right? I'm touching this pencil, but I'm actually not.
How about this just happens, dude? Like,
right,
the Earth is
dropping things.
Okay, why wouldn't it just stay there? Why wouldn't it just stay there when I let go of it?
Now is a good time to announce that we all took mushrooms before the podcast started, and that's
I got this. My sister gave me a mushroom stress ball that I've been kind of holding on to.
Oh, nice.
How nice are stress balls? Do they just feel like the feeling of them? Whatever they came up with,
like that. I think
99% sure someone just knocked on my door, so I'm gonna go look at what that's about.
Someone knocked on your front door or your office door.
Right here.
Could be.
This could be. This is going on live leak.
This could be. Absolutely.
He is talking to somebody.
He is.
Okay.
What a show.
Yeah. No. No.
Oh, it's Ghost
on that door. No one knocked on that door, but I heard it.
Wow. Okay, man, that could have been anything there.
That conversation got a little crazy there at the end, but the beginning part of it, we are living in a world where it's unavoidable to talk about those things. I mean, Trump is in a golf YouTube video. Like,
yeah, it's nuts.
Right.
Like we didn't just talk about it out of nowhere, and it feels like the last 3 weeks we've been talking politics, but it just seems like it's the number one thing in the world. So. Fuck, man.
Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, you can get tickets to all kinds of big stuff coming up tonight when we're recording this podcast? We got the Mets at the Yankees. You can get tickets for $42, boys. I know you guys are New York guys, but that's a pretty good deal.
Amazing. Subway Series, $42. That's a hot ticket right now. I went to the Foo Fighters. They got rained out halfway through. I've got the rain setting on my. It just follows me. There's a cloud. Halfway through, it got rained out. But game time, I got game time tickets in the pit in the bullpen area, right by Dave Grohl. They were rocking and rolling. It was Citi Field. It was amazing. The tickets were so affordable. It was last minute in the pit area. They were like $90 to be 10 feet away from Dave Grohl, rocking and rolling, melting your face off. I mean, if you really just if you scour that thing like a hawk, and you're like, I'm gonna get into this event, and you're on Game Time, you will get in for the price that you want. I'm telling you, it's by far the lowest prices you can possibly get.
And I'm looking Manchester City versus AC Milan, $73 at Yankee Stadium on the 27th of July. So just a lot of cool stuff going on out there in the world that you might not realize. Game Time. They are the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Finding tickets for less. It's never been easier. They got flash deals if you're looking for sudden discounts, zone deals if you're feeling flexible. They've got the lowest price guarantee. Simply means if you can find the same seats for less anywhere else, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time is the best place for last-minute tickets, up to 60% off your favorite events. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code FORE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
We released our own big video. I think it's tracking like 1 million views less per hour, but we're chugging along. We're sticking close to our guns. We're
tortoise in the hair. We're
sticking. We'll catch them. We're sticking to our brand. And listen, PFT is a very interesting cat. He started as a commenter on Pro Football Talk website, and he got such amazing reviews from the other readers. And he became so popular that they ended up inviting him on. He ends up writing on the website, and then Dan and Dave find him, and they make the biggest sports podcast show in the world. And he's an incredibly talented guitarist. He's a solid golfer. He's a good athlete. So witty, so funny. His brain works in ways that other people's brains do not work. He also invented Breaking Bad, and then Vince Gilligan stole it from him. Which is not confirmed, but that's my assessment of the story. It's one of the crazier stories you'll hear. He like wrote Breaking Bad, and then they like didn't know really where to go with it. The idea of a teacher selling, meth, crystal meth, blue meth, and they wrote like this whole idea, and then they didn't do anything with it in Austin. And then like 2 years later, they see the pilot for a show called Breaking Bad, where like a science chemistry teacher starts selling meth with his student. So it's unbelievable. He's an interesting guy, man. I love him. So that video is out on our YouTube page, our Rumble page. It's we're just plugging along out here. We're trying to just survive out there in these streets, these video platform streets right now, because there's some heavy hitters out there. You got guys fucking getting Donald Trump right after he got assassinated, or assassination attempt. It's as big as a video you can get. You'd have to get the Dalai Lama after he like got out of like prison or something like that. You know what I mean?
Like cares about the Dalai Lama.
No,
not the. Who am I thinking of? I'm not thinking of the Dalai Lama. I'm thinking of what's his name?
Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. Like you'd have to get like I'm talking like the most famous people that have ever walked this earth. You have to get fucking Paul McCartney out there or something. He wouldn't even pull the needle.
Right, you would have to get, I don't know, dude. I really don't.
I don't even know who's bigger than getting Donald Trump during this point right now. Who's a bigger guest?
Taylor Swift.
Fuck
Taylor
you,
Swift?
Alex.
That's a good one, though.
It's true.
She would crush.
Because you got
your YouTube.
You're just talking about who's got huge fan bases and or is
Taylor Swift a golf video would crush.
A Taylor Swift one?
Yeah, dude.
18 holes of Taylor Swift just fucking playing golf.
Dude.
She's like ripping Trulies and shit.
And if she was like Trump too, and like was hitting fairways out there,
nipping wedges, like hitting bump and runs with a 7-iron, like holy shit.
That'd be a big video. That would be a mega video.
Jesus walking out of the tomb. Like, I don't know how much bigger you can get.
I was going to get that big. I don't know. I don't know. It's an amazing get.
But even like Jesus at the time, well, I don't even know if Jesus in real time now he's the most famous person in history, maybe. But at the time, I don't know that he was as famous as like Donald Trump is right now.
I don't know if you can talk about. I don't know if you can talk about this. You might be able to, but like, can you like? He had that video recorded. It's the biggest video ever, and then like Donald Trump almost got assassinated after they recorded that.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Bryson was like, "Holy shit"? Like that's. You're holding on to like the biggest thing that you have. I mean, to him, he's still a professional golfer, but like, imagine we got that and we're sitting there. Like we did the Tiger Woods thing, right? We played with Tiger Woods and we had to wait a couple months. And I remember on this, like in meetings, we were like, just like, let's just get to January so that we can get our biggest video of all time out. And like, you know, like he almost got assassinated while he was holding on to that video, which is like, you just like obviously can't put that video out after that.
No, you can't. You really can't. And then, I mean, the Tiger, we were so nervous about the Tiger one that when he switched from Nike to nobody knew what he was wearing, we panicked for a little bit and we're like, are they not going to let us put this video out because he's wearing his old Nike stuff in the video? Like, we were freaking out about that. Yeah, that is.
We were worried that Tiger was going to get hurt.
Yeah.
And then people were going to be like, you guys did it because he's in a video with you guys getting on his knees. Trump almost getting assassinated. Yeah, I mean, that obviously just adds to the lore and adds to the hype. That's all that does.
It is so underrated. I know how close that man was to getting assassinated. It's
really hard to wrap your head around.
It's hard to wrap your head around that. And all of these other, like the you know, Trump says it, like he said it in, I think, a presser or one of his rallies the last day or two that I saw. But he's like, it's like making a 1 or 2 foot putt if you're a golfer. And I think Rob O'Neill, who's the guy who shot Bin Laden, who actually came into the office right after we moved to the New York office. We had beers with him. He's telling all kinds of stories. But I follow him on Twitter. He was breaking the whole thing down, being like, from 150 yards or whatever it is, like, even if you're a bad shot, you're not missing that target. That's the size of like a human head with a couple chances. You're hitting that. And the head tilt and the whole thing, like that is one of the, once you reach that point where they had gotten, that's one of the most incredible breaks in history, that he ended up getting through that with a nick on his ear. And obviously somebody died that was a supporter of his. That's horrible. But dude, the trajectory of world history, if that man gets shot right there, it truly is. It's hard to wrap your head around how close that was to occurring a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. No, we're living in crazy times, man.
I hate it.
Shit. I know.
It's just what we're living in. I know. It's bad.
I really don't like it.
It did go from really boring and a snooze fest. And then I remember after the debate and the fallout from the debate, I was excited that things were happening. And I know, Frankie, you've said this before, of like, when things are occurring, it at least just stirs up that excitement gene in you to whatever degree. It's like why people seek a thrill.
I got all jazzed up about COVID the first week.
People will just, I know what you're saying, where you're like, okay, something big is happening and I'm at least going to get to like, and you're right. And you're hoping like, okay, at least it's some big wave of something that's not actually going to be impactful and hurt people and kill people. And so there's this excitement. Once it gets to that point, of course, it's dread and sadness and it sucks. And I'm with Trent, where it's like, for a moment there when the election hyped up, it really was kind of like riveting of like, oh, we're witnessing something big here. But with the fucking assassination attempt, and then like, I think generally a lot of sadness around the state of Biden and him dropping out. And it really is almost like, all right. I kind of wish we could go back to it being boring and people mostly agreeing and being normal fucking people that live together.
I wish the election was tomorrow. I don't care who wins, like, because I just know these next 4 months are going to be weird.
But this is also like, I don't really know how to say it. It's like, we're lucky that this is as bad as it's been in our lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, there have been generations of people that have walked this earth that have had it way worse living in this country than us just having like mean tweets and bad things said on Fox and CNN. Like, we just can't handle like certain headlines. Like, what about like when they got drafted to war and like two world wars and like
don't put me in that position where I'm comparing those things.
No, I'm saying like I think that we always think that like it's unbelievable how bad this country is now and like how horrible it is.
President Kennedy almost got killed. That seems pretty
bad. But there's been presidents that have been killed. You know what I mean?
I don't want to live through. I thought things were supposed to get better.
No. I'm saying that if this is like where we're reaching a point to, it's like we've been pretty fucking lucky in my 30 years on this life that we've lived a pretty boring. I mean, obviously 2000 like September 11th happened, 2001 happened, and it's like that was something that I couldn't even conceptualize. I was like 9 years old. At the end of the day, we've had it pretty fucking boring, right? Like in my aspect of just living life, like just going to work and going to school and not really having many things that have happened in the world. Like, I feel like things were pretty fucking bad and wild and traumatic in this country every, 40, 50 years or so, whatever it may be. I just think, I don't know, if political like meanness and like chaos on Twitter is as bad as it's going to get, it's actually not that bad.
Political violence. Spilling over into political violence.
Everything's relative. So I know what you're saying there, but I think to Trent's point, I think that there's a concern that this could just be the beginning because we've got 4 more months of this. And then God knows how the election goes and then how that gets handled and what happened last time we had a presidential election and after the outcome. And there's like, I think that you're right. Up to this point, there's definitely really bad stuff that has happened. But overall, like you're saying, we're not getting drafted to war. We're not in as many like wars in terms of the United States as we were. We're not going to like civil war, which happened in 1860 when the election didn't go away and things started changing. So it's like, relatively speaking, you're right. But I think there's like a nervousness of like, shit could get crazy bad, like crazy bad.
It could, certainly. It certainly could. I don't know. I just feel like every generation, at least my generation, like we always think that like the worst thing's happening to us. Meanwhile, like we don't just put ourselves, and everything is relative, but like you don't put yourselves in the shoes of people that have had it. Like, I mean, it just always happens.
Yeah,
like
I wasn't alive then. I know what's happening.
There's rallies
right
and
now.
There's people, like when things were happening, they were looting and stuff. They're like, it's never been this bad in this country. And then like, I mean, it always happened. You know what I mean? Like there's always things that have happened in this country that we just like forget. And then like we kind of get like our brains washed away and then it happens again. And it's just like, how the fuck is this happening in my time?
This is my first go around.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also more
relatively, like I'm saying, I think I've had a pretty good run.
No, I don't disagree with that. But I think that there's a concern. That's what, you know, and I think that now it's
for sure
the consuming a lot of it is almost impossible to avoid now because of our attachment to social media. Whereas it used to be like, if you just turn SportsCenter on and not the news channels, you won't see any of it. And now it's like, you can't not see it, right? Like everyone knows the top 3 or 5 bullet points of what went on that day, related to the political unrest in our country. You like cannot fucking avoid it. You know what was said, what was going on, what the aggressive extremists on this side were saying and that side, and you like can't fucking avoid it. And now I'm seeking it out. I'm enthralled by this whole thing. But if you're not, I think you can't avoid it, and it just feels like it's in sort of the daily lexicon of our country. And there is an election going on, so people probably generally should be more aware. But I think there's a concern that things are heading towards boiling over. I think that's why everybody was like, we got to turn the temperature down after the assassination attempt. But ever since then, with Biden being out, new candidate coming in, 4 months still left of the entire election, it's like
that's going to get nasty.
We got a lot of shit coming that could happen, and I think that's just a little scary. It really is.
It is. No, it is.
Oh yeah.
Trump like retweeted like a Civil War like thing today.
I thought that's not turning down the temperature in my eyes, but
no,
it's not.
Definitely not.
And it's like, dude, if things get really bad, it's way easier now to just harm a lot of people quickly. And it's like, fuck, that part of it.
No. See, I don't want what I said to be misconstrued as to like, we can't have the bad things happening in, because you could have the bad things happening in times of a million.
Right.
I mean, every single person has the ability to hurt somebody now in this day and age. Back in the Civil War era, I mean, I don't know how easy it was to get a gun and you had to put all the powder in the bullet. I mean, now it's nasty. It's real scary. I mean, you can have a fucking 20-year-old kid get on a fucking roof and try and shoot the president now. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy times. But, you know, we're still out here trying to get, you know, wedges close to pins and drivers in the fairway. And, I mean, that's really all I'm worrying about. I can only control who I am. I can go and I can vote, and then I can just live my life. That's all you can do, you know? That's all you can do as a citizen, is you can just do your part.
That's the crazy part about all of it, is it really just comes down to people just going out and voting for who they're going to vote for. And then like those people are just in charge, and that just goes on and on.
Then you watch House of Cards and you realize
just everybody don't hurt.
Then you watch House of Cards and realize like even if whoever you vote for, none of this stuff matters. You know, there's just crazy. I need to watch the House of Cards of this era, because holy shit, the stuff that's happening behind the scenes of all of it from the last 8 years. I need to see it. I need to see the documentary. Holy shit. Imagine that came out on Sunday nights, like a retelling of what's been going on behind the scenes.
No one would believe anything that was being said.
We wouldn't believe it.
People would being like, I don't believe this.
Oh. No, they really wouldn't believe it. Precision Pro offers the best rangefinders in golf. They're fast, accurate, easy to use, providing accurate yardages to plus or minus 1 yard and excellent target lock. We really do love this thing. We all got it over the last month or two, and it's a very sturdy rangefinder.
Yeah, it gives you the front, it gives you the back, it gives you slope if you want it. It's very, very sturdy. It's precise. It is Precision Pro. It's just you know what you're going to get. There's a lot of rangefinders out there that they claim to be very, this is very affordable. All you need is to be able to shoot and go. Like, no, you need to make sure that this is a reliable number because there are huge differences. We've tried out different rangefinder companies and brands. We've had the Precision Pro next to its competitors before and been 3-4 yards off, where like the other brand might be getting the tree in the background. It's not catching the flag or it's just shooting out the wrong number. The Precision Pro has always been exactly what we needed. It's so firm. It's so precise. It's so just like, it just feels really, really solid in your hand. And it sounds ridiculous, but when you use the cheaper ones, you know what I mean. Like, it's just, you could feel the battery ringing around and you're like, this is no way this is the right number.
And it really is the most reliable and accurate number with a rangefinder that I think we've all ever had. Like that,
yeah.
It really is so important because outside of that, and if the cart doesn't have the number or anything like that, what are we just going to eyeball the number? Like you have to have
out there.
Right. Like, am I going to step this thing off from 185 yards? Like, you have to have a reliable number. You have to have a reliable rangefinder, and Precision Pro gives you exactly that.
The Titan Elite Rangefinder, their new flagship product, the new gold standard for golf rangefinders, aluminum shell, IP67 dust and waterproof. It has to be good. Plus Bluetooth connection, features GPS yardages, Find My Titan, and so much more. Head to precisionprogolf.com. Use our code fore-play, FOREPLAY. That's one word. You're going to get $20 off of your next rangefinder. That is precisionprogolf.com. Use the code fore-play for $20 off. But you're right. We're trying to talk golf on here. It's hard not to
Tiger
Woods
drove off a cliff. Like, that should have been the craziest thing that happened in our last 4 years.
Not even in the top 50,
almost
dude.
Died. Tiger Woods almost died.
Not in the top 50.
Guy won the Masters, was the greatest player on PGA Tour at that point. Literally won the United States President's Cup trophy. He was out of control. East Lake, the PGA Championship, the Open. He was every time that guy played golf, he was in contention to win. And then he drove off a cliff. I think what was that stat I saw the other day? Out of his last 14 majors, he's missed the cuts or he's withdrawn 7 times. I don't think he's hit under par. I don't think he's hit under par in his last 14 major rounds or something like that. It's so bad.
Oh, I said on the last podcast, you weren't here, Frankie, but I said the best and worst thing you can do as a Tiger Woods fan is go watch his highlights of the 2019 Masters. Guy looks like he's 25 years old compared to where he is now.
His leg, man, those pictures of his leg without the sleeve on it, it really, if anything, it adds to his legend. The fact that he's able to get out there, he's made the cut in the Masters tournament the last couple of years. The fact that he's able to make golf swings, drive the ball pretty well, and even show up to a point where we're like, all right, this guy could maybe play some decent golf is astonishing. The leg, I know we heard all about how it's almost been, almost had to be amputated and all the different surgeries to get it to where it is. And when you see the scarring on that thing, it is stunning that he can walk or move around at all.
What was he up to this weekend with Charlie? Where were they just at?
The USGA junior tournament. Amateur? Is it the junior amateur?
I think it was the junior out there. Yeah, it looks like his leg got, mauled by a pack of wild dogs. They ate it like it was food. It is misshapen. It has lines going down the side of it like he's Frankenstein's zombie or whatever it may be. It's not good. It's not good, that leg. I don't know how the man walks. Every step looks like it looks like it's going to pop out the sides. The seams are still there. You know what I mean? His leg is still patched together, and it's been how long? When did he drive up? When did he get that surgery?
3 years ago?
3 years ago.
February 2021, yeah?
Yeah, the cliff was 3 years ago. Over 3 years ago. He had the surgery last year.
How did Tiger Woods play in 2020 after he won the Masters? That was a little bit of a down year, right? He played out in California at the PGA Championship when you went.
Yeah, because it was a little bit of a weird year. Remember, because it was COVID and the majors were all at different times than they usually were going to be. He played okay, I think. The Harding Park, he made the cut. The Masters, remember I think he finished he like hit that ball in the water on 12 and made like a 10 and then finished his round with a bunch of birdies. So he like made the cut and got through it, but like not great. And then next thing you know, in February, he showed up, Genesis. He had that interview where people were not thinking he was looking great. And then 2 days later, he drove off the cliff.
And all of life is a game of inches and decisions, and you can go back in time from literally the time that whatever the universe started it, and you can say, if this didn't happen, this would happen. But you talk about Trump with the bullet going by his head, and you talk about if this guy just didn't drive his car that day, what kind of Tiger Woods are we seeing right now? You know what I mean? Like with 3 more years that we've just been watching him, with Charlie getting older and like Charlie really pushing him to become a better player, like the competition between them two. If he was still a healthy Tiger Woods, which is hilarious that we're saying that he was healthy at that point, because when he won the 2019 Masters, it was the biggest achievement in sports history to us, because this guy was never supposed to walk again with his back surgery. So it's just what a life that man has lived. But it makes me sad. It makes me very sad to know where we were at before something so avoidable happened.
Well, that's the thing too, is like the guy has lived such a life. How avoidable was it? Like, if it's not that day, when is
something
it?
Else.
Or does it happen somewhere else down the road? Is it worse? Does he die? Like, it's scary shit.
Do you remember 2.5 years ago when rumors were ramping up that Tiger Woods was walking around Florida golf courses, gearing up for a return to Masters, and no one had thought that it was even remotely a chance that he could show up and play, and then he did. And there was like that clip of the guy on the golf cart driving by, like staring at Tiger, hitting balls on the range, and we were so hyped up. And man, it's like, he
didn't make the cut, did he? He did.
He did. He's made the cut, I believe, in the Masters. Right? Hasn't he made the cut every year, basically, at the Masters?
20. He's got made like 27 in a row or something.
He hasn't missed it in the last 2. Since
I don't know if
he's been back.
I don't think he's missed it since he's been a pro, maybe, or so. Is that the stat?
It was a big deal this year. They put it up. I can't remember.
Yeah, because he withdrew on like a Saturday, right?
Yeah. 24 consecutive Masters made cuts. They have not come in consecutive years because he didn't play a few different times when he was injured and out. But that's amazing.
Bro, and then a year later, after his crash, a year and a handful of months, we walked with him on the fairway in Tulsa.
That's right.
See, this is why, and maybe the simulation stuff is all correct, because like I just can't get my timelines right sometimes. Like, I watch Tiger Woods now, and it seems like he's so fragile, and like every single moment that you watch him out there could be the last. And then there was a time right after this crash that we were like, this guy's fucking back. We were walking with him, like stride and stride, like leg for leg, walking with this guy at a furious pace down the 18th fairway in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we were like, this guy is fine. And now like you watch him and you're like, he's not fine. But we've gained so much more health since then, but it seems like it's going the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's frustrating that his game isn't, because I do think he looks more healthy. I do think he was walking and moving more healthy looking. He just is not performing, and it's like he's driving it well, and you kind of he was 1 under through 3, Frankie, and we were like, oh, he's gonna win the tournament, and then he shot a trillion. It was never close to making the cut. So he's had the weird, at the St. Andrews 2 years ago, he came out and he hit it in the fucking burn on the first hole and made double the first hole.
That was crazy. Perfect drive. He had like a 9-iron in.
That's like, God. So
catch a 9-iron in there.
That part of it's been really weird, that he's looking more healthy and not playing better.
Maybe that's what's fogging my mind, is the fact that we have. So like there was that sense of maybe he's just back to where he was before he got the crash, because it was so new. He was walking. We hadn't really seen him play that often. Now we've seen him play a bunch. And that's why, to me, it's a little more fragile, because he hasn't put together a decent round yet, really.
No,
like a Tiger Woods round
outside of the Masters, like not no. And even
Riviera, he had like one good round, right? His first round at Riviera this year,
like 67.
Yeah, there was flashes there, but what do you think it is? It's just like he's not playing enough. Because I mean, I played with a guy at Meadowbrook Club. Aussie Dave was his name, and he said that he is a caddy on various different tours, DP World Tour, LPGA, all these different events. And he caddied in a group that Tiger played in this year at Apogee, Rory's like course that he's kind of affiliated with, where we did that thing with TaylorMade. And he said that Tiger shot like the most ho-hum 63 like he's ever seen. Like it was just, they had a cart and he just like breezed down the fairway. Every single shot was boom, like right to 5 feet, just drill it to the back of the cup. Great mood, great guy, answering questions, lively. Like, and we've heard from people that have played with this guy in Jupiter at his home courses being like, he can do it. Like he shot 10 under with me today. He's out driving everyone. His ball speed's off the charts. So like, I understand that there's like competitive rounds that you have to play just to get into the mix. But like, if the guy can go do that, it's not like he's incapable of getting the ball in the hole. He like, this guy wouldn't lie to me. It was just us like walking down the fairway at Meadowbrook. He's like, dude, this guy was sick. This was like 5 months ago.
It's weird that it seems to be the simpler stuff. Like he's historically not been the best driver of the golf ball relative to how good of a player he is, like the greatest of all time. And he's driving it pretty fucking well. Like he's standing up there, he's hitting that little cut, he's got speed, he's hitting it past other guys he's playing with. It's like a lot of loose iron shots and wedges and 3 putts. Like he hasn't really had any rounds where he's looked like he's great with the putter. And so it's just kind of like, what is that? And it's also got to be a mix of, it is fucking just hard to do it in a major versus doing it at Apogee, fucking around in Jupiter. The same reason for any of us. It's like harder to do it under pressure sometimes when you're in a certain situation. And they're playing the hardest golf course. He only shows up to the hardest imaginable golf courses of the year. And it's like,
I said that to one of my buddies. I was like, all right, he played horrible, but he also beat Wyndham Clark and Cam Smith. So like those guys are playing a ton of competitive rounds. That course was just outrageously hard. And yeah, you just throw anyone out there, and a guy who won the Open 2 years ago could miss the cut. You know what I mean? Like a guy like Cam Smith or a guy that just won the US Open can finish worse than him. So it really doesn't matter in that aspect.
No, totally. And it's also a small sample size. Like he's played fucking 8 tournaments in the last 2.5 years or something. So it's like, imagine if you picked any of these guys on tour and you looked and they had like an 8 tournament stretch where they only made 2 cuts and like missed 6 other ones. They could also, the next 8 tournaments, have a great stretch and you wouldn't think anything of it at all. Like that's Wyndham Clark does that every 8 tournaments. So it's like, you don't really, it's
the
like,
thing I wish I could ask him is like, all right, if he has a plan at home and it's about progressing his game and revving up, hitting balls to a certain extent, maybe he hits 100, the next day it's 200, the next day it's 300, and he revs up for these majors. Like, why can't we like dial all of that into another form of practice where he plays like the 3M, or you know what I mean? There's got to be a way that he can also get just a PGA Tour event in the mix, so that he's playing against guys. He's trying to make putts to make the cut. Like that is the only way he's going to rev up towards a major. And I don't know how this whole preparation thing where there's no tournaments leading up to it cannot be the correct way to do it.
No,
like he's saving himself, quote unquote, for the majors, and he's not even making the cut. So let's take all the papers off the board and let's rewrite this preparation packet. You know what I mean? We need to rewrite this plan. Practice less at home, play more tournaments.
It's clearly not working, and I think that the rust thing everybody always says is he got rust. And some people say it's overdone. I think it's true. I just think it's fucking true. I think the rhythm of a professional golf round, even just the pace of it, like when he goes and plays Apogee and rips around in a golf cart, I bet they play in 3.5 hours at max. He steps up, you watch these guys at practice rounds, they're hitting balls over the other guys because they're just hitting whenever they're ready. It doesn't matter. You get out in the pace and the normal speed of a tournament round. It's fucking slow. If one guy that you're playing with is in a bunker and then he hits it over the green, you got to stand there and wait before you get to hit that 5-foot putt. Like it's just different. It's totally, totally different. And I'm with you. I think he doesn't have that. If you have to wait 2.5 holes, which is actually an hour in competitive golf before you get to hit a chip because you hit the green 2 holes in a row, like he hasn't hit a chip all of a sudden in like an hour. And now he's feeling the nerves of tournament golf. And like, he's just not feeling that at all. So I think that's a great point. Like if he can, for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the week leading up to a major, play 9 holes and hit balls for 2 hours, why can't he play fucking 18 holes at the 3M or whatever to like get ready for it?
Or it doesn't have to be the week leading up. There's there's time for this guy to be able to play, and his body is able to play more than he's playing. I feel like he has this strategy where he's trying to save up every ounce of energy for this thing that's not working. So it's like you're putting your energy in the wrong places. It almost feels like I almost feel like a Tiger with less energy than he thinks he needs in a major might be better if he had just come off preparing the right way. And this is also me speaking. I don't know how he feels. I don't know anything about his game or where his team is at or what his priorities are at this point. Maybe it's just to stay home with his kids. And maybe I don't know what the actual reasoning is, but I do know as a Tiger fan that wants to watch him, celebrate like that again and like be able to buy more of these little bobbleheads that are sitting here. Like I want this guy to figure something out. And like whatever's happening right now is not working. We have to catch lightning in a bottle. And like we can't even get the thunder in the building right now to get the lightning. The thunder's not even rolling in yet. You know what I mean? Like there is no lightning to be caught. You gotta get the thunder. The thunder would be he goes out and plays a tournament and like makes the cut and he shoots a couple consistent rounds in the 60s. And you're like, holy fuck! You hear that rumbling that's coming out of like Minnetonka, Minnesota? That's
Silvis, Illinois.
Tiger Woods. Silvis, Illinois. That's Tiger Woods. And you know what's coming up? The Masters. It's like, holy shit. That's the thunder. We need to figure this shit out, man. Let me get in contact with them. I'll talk with the team because it's really starting to get sickening. It's like, why even play? Yeah. I have to defend this guy with my buddies. I got this group chat where these guys are just mean to me. They're Tiger haters. And I can't, they're beating me down. And just like Dave used to do, and just like Big Cat used.
Just because all my buddies are Tiger nut jobs.
It's my guy Tiger. It's my guy Tommy and Brian, and they are. I mean, they say he's on the juice. They say this. It's like it's constant. Like, oh, hey Brian, there's no way Tiger didn't make the cut, right? It's like, oh, actually, he's like plus 14, and I just ignore it. I've put the little like the mute symbol next to it, and I don't even read them anymore. But they get to me. So I mean, if they hear this, they know it's getting to me for sure. I get very frustrated, and there's no rebuttal. You guys were able to fight the good fight before I even came on this podcast with Dave and Big Cat and all the haters, and you were able to do your incredible rounds once you won, where you just called out every single hater that ever went after you. I think Riggs had a list of all the people that have been, canceled by Tiger Woods. Wasn't some of his sponsors on there? Do you still have that list?
Oh, I mean,
that list is
well. One of them I know was the Jupiter Police.
Yeah, we had a list. It was like Frankie. It was like the first company to drop Tiger Woods. It was Gatorade, I think, and then
fuck that.
We had the Jupiter Police that were on there. It was called the list. So I will say, I kind of was talking about it in the last show. Big Cat was on there. All Business Pete was on there. Jupiter Police.
All Business Pete.
All Business Pete is still. Whenever I'm in the office now, I can still see him, and I know he wants to say something to me about Tiger, and I'm just like, "Fuck you, dude."
But see, now, this is what you guys had, like some sense of hope.
Dude, he played. I just looked it up. He played 13 times in 2019.
That's hope. That's thunder rumbling. That's what I'm talking about. I have nothing. I'm trying to fight these guys being like he's the greatest golfer of all time. He did it in 2019. He'll do it again, but I don't believe it anymore. Like it's starting to really start to exit my brain and my heart. And I don't want to say I'm not jumping wagon yet, but I'm close. I have 1 foot out.
Yeah, I mean, we got pretty lucky, right? Like we had fought that fight for years, Trent longer than I, because he's been at Barstool for years longer. But from when I got there in 2016 all the way up till he won the Masters in 2019, that was 3 straight years. And that first year, 2016, and 2017, Tiger had said to Nick Faldo that he doesn't think he's ever going to be able to show up to Augusta and be able to even play anymore. Then he had the back fusion. And during that stretch, remember he took a flight across the Atlantic and went to like Dubai. And then at like 2 a.m, I remember coming back. I had a bunch of drunken McDonald's living in New York City. And I turned on this fucking TV. I'm going to watch Tiger. And Tiger, after like 2 holes, withdraws over in Dubai and didn't play again for months. And every time that fucking happened, everyone would just shit on us. I mean, everybody on Twitter, all those guys. A big Trent addition to the list was Big Cat, and then open parenthesis, the Dan Katz one, close parenthesis. So like those guys were getting all buried. And then we just got lucky, dude. He had this fucking surgery. And then in 2018, he played a million times in 2018. He almost won a bunch. He won at the end of 2018, and then 2019.
Didn't he win in Japan?
He won in Japan at the end of 2019. He won that.
And in 2019,
that was like we were just at that time. Remember, we had that funny clip of us. We just shook hands afterwards like it was business as usual.
He was the best golfer on that 2019 President's Cup that we were at, dude. Like no question about it. He was the best golfer on that President's Cup team.
I thought that was before the Masters. Wow.
Frankie, I got this list now. I was telling him on the last show. Every time Tiger plays, there's 4 or 5 tweets that stick out to me of people being mean that I just copy paste into this note I have in the notes app. And it's the same thing I did when he won in 2019. And then I just sat there for an hour straight after he won the Masters. And I just retweeted these tweets over the years of people shitting on him. And I will say, this is the first time in my life, I don't know that we're going to get that moment where I get to retweet all those. Like, what constitutes being able to retweet those? Is it only if he wins like a major? Is that the only time I can retweet those?
He's got to win a golf tournament again. But it is nice that you're continuing that.
I've got
constant in our life, because that, like, you can't lose that. You know what I mean? Like, you need to make the preparations, because if you don't, then we basically are just giving up. Like, I have one foot out, but we need someone that's just still going, throwing the coal in the fire.
I've got dozens of tweets here that are going to be retweeted.
Good.
New York Post is on this list that just says delusional Tiger Woods refuses to concede what everybody already knows. That's getting retweeted at some point whenever he wins.
God.
I mean, if he wins another event, even if it's not a major, he breaks Sam Snead's record. So that's a big fucking thing.
It's a bullshit record, but yeah, it's true.
It is amazing that, like, man, there was a time where it's like you needed to get past Jack, and now it's like we just need him to get under par for one round. Dude, imagine him having to win 4 more.
Bro, he had 13 or whatever in 2008, and it was like, bro, if we really want to go back and talk about potential, bro, he's 40. He was in his late 20s. Early 30s, and he had like 13 or 14 of them, and it was like he is gonna cruise by Jack,
dude.
And then there was a 10-year drought
in June of 2018. He got to 14 majors. In June of 2008, he got to 14 major championships. All right, we've got some good From the Gallery submissions. Probably a great time to do a little From the Gallery action. We're talking Tiger Woods. We're wondering injuries, something that we kind of saw on social and just all over the place. But one of the clips is sort of if you could change something in the history of injuries, negative things that happen in sports. We're going to kind of get into that. We're going to first get into TaylorMade golf balls. They bring you From the Gallery. Softest 5-layer tour ball is the TP5. What if the ball that you're playing is not the number one ball for you? That's why we want you to meet the all-new TP5 and TP5X from TaylorMade. The fastest and now a half a club longer is the TP5X. So again, you got the softest 5-layer tour ball, the TP5. You've got the fastest half club longer golf ball in the TP5X. They do customization better than anybody else has ever done it. You could do my symbol. So you go to TaylorMadeGolf.com, find the number one ball for you. Check it out with my symbol, with yellow balls, with white golf balls, with picks balls, all kinds of good stuff at TaylorMadeGolf.com.
There's a question that was going around social media recently that was like, I think maybe even in the Barstool office it came from, if you could go back and save one athlete, right? Like maybe it was an injury or something happened.
What kind of saving are you allowing?
I mean, you could say the person died if you want to save him there, but I think it's more like injury, like really ruined. If you could go back and like fix them, right, and make sure that they don't get injured and they play out their full career to their full potential, who would it be? I saw people like, my friends were my New York friends were writing like David Wright, like he had such bad back issues and he was like the captain of the Mets and they were going to the World Series. Like, what's that potential like for that franchise if he never goes down? Like for me, Rick DiPietro was the goalie, DP signed kid. They signed him for a 15-year deal and he played like 100 games. His knees gave out, his hips gave out. Now he's on the radio. Like that's a number 1 overall draft pick that they took in the same draft that Henrik Lundqvist went last in. Like the whole franchise changes at that point if he's an all-time goalie. So yeah, I mean, like, is Tiger the obvious answer of like, if this guy just stays just solid and straight and everything goes smooth and nothing ever comes out and no phones get leaked and nothing. Does this guy win 25 majors? 30?
Yes. That's the tricky part. Like, are you allowed to just take away all negative stuff that happened to him?
Right. Because I would with that question, I would say like Derrick Rose, like keep Derrick Rose's knees together.
Right.
I was very into those Derrick Rose Bulls, and they were so much fun. And he would just have non-contact ACL tears, and it's like, this is incredibly frustrating. With Tiger, it's different. Yeah, I want to take away the knee problems. Yeah, I want to take away the back problems. I also want to take away some addiction issues, and in every addiction issues in every single way possible.
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. Do you like, if you only get one moment to like change, where it's like, is it like whatever fucked up his knee when he was doing Kill House training in like 2006 or whatever? Is it the cliff?
See, I think we go
all the way that
I think
late
you go
to like
back
2021.
I think you leave all this stuff, the extracurriculars, like he's going to have to deal with all of that. I think you go back to the time, however this man hurt his spine the first time, when like his back started to deteriorate. What was it? Was he taking supplements? Was it this? Was it that? Like, I don't know what the answer is, but like whatever started this downhill trend of like, clearly he needed to take painkillers. Clearly, like it was a fucking avalanche after that first back issue.
Well, it would have been knee surgeries, right?
So it was the first knee surgery?
It was early. It was his knee. I believe it was like his
That was in the early 2000s,
like all the
wasn't
cartilage in his knees. Yeah.
I just feel like that, like, yeah, his first injuries really started to snowball his issues. And then it was like one after another, after another, after another. And he talks about it even now. His leg is hurt. So that means that his glutes start to tighten up and his arm starts to hurt. And then like, it's always something else because of these injuries. If Tiger Woods never has to get to the point where he has a fused back, regardless of all the bullshit that went around, like, I understand that he was like public enemy number one, and I just got done in the beginning of the episode saying like we always think that like nothing happened in the past. Like, that Tiger Woods drama was absolutely off the fucking charts when you were living through that, and now we just act like all the next thing is like the new big thing. Like, that was fucking. We were living in the middle of that.
No, that's the biggest.
Moms, that's the grandmas. Like, people were going nuts about that shit.
I don't even know what you're referring to.
Even though he went all through all that, I think without the injuries, I think he still fucking wins all these majors.
Dude, there was a stretch. So I remember
still
like
a Terminator.
This was right when I was getting into golf. Was like 04, 05 with my brother, and then that stretch we were getting so into Tiger Woods. And at the end of 2007. At the beginning of 2008, look at this stretch that he was on. And this is not, dude. I don't bring up 2000 because that was when like he was still, this is like the later part of his hot stretches. He goes at the end of the year in 2007, he wins the World Golf Championship, Bridgestone, so first place, PGA Championship, first place, Deutsche Bank, second place, BMW first, Tour Championship first, Target World Challenge first. Then that's his last tournament of 2007. He comes out the next year in 2008. And he starts the year Buick Invitational first, World Golf Championship, Accenture Match Play first, Arnold Palmer Invitational first, World Golf Championship, California Championship fifth, then Tavistock Cup, that doesn't really count, T first, Masters Tournament, he finishes second, U.S. Open, he wins the tournament. So like that was the stretch that he's having, and that was like the last time that he was really, really, really like Tiger Woods. Then he had ACL surgery and everything's gone downhill since then, but like that stretch is laughable. He's just winning or finishing second every week.
On fire. Yeah. Yeah. If you have a healthy in every single way Tiger Woods, he probably wins 30 majors.
Yeah.
What were the DraftKings Sportsbook? What would the odds have been? And I know that the comparisons were like Scotty was as low as Tiger was in prime Tiger, but they weren't like, it wasn't around as prevalent as it is now. Tiger would have had to have been minus money.
Dude, he was
for the 2008 US Open?
Yeah.
There was a tournament where I think he was like even money to win.
He was plus 150 for something at one point. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you take him over the field almost every week.
Right. He was legit like over the field. And I mean, they still had Golf Central and all that stuff at the time. And I remember consuming that and the shit that they would have to talk about, right? Because they come up now and they're all talking about how good is Scotty's year relative to all this. The shit that they talked about was like, if Tiger continues at this pace, how many majors is he going to win? And they were like, he's going to win 150 tournaments and he's going to win 30 plus majors. He was like 29, 30 years old and winning every week. It's like, okay. And so like, obviously he's just going to keep going. There was no slowing down. And then from fucking 2008 June until 2019 Masters, he didn't win a single major championship. Not one.
It's unbelievable.
Right. And I know people know this stuff, but when you really break it down,
it's unbelievable.
The stretch was crazy where he won everything, from 97 to 2008. And then when he wasn't winning, he was still winning golf tournaments. You go back, there's some big years in the 2010s even, but like 2013, he won 5 tournaments or something. And he's
got to so like one.
He's still winning, but no majors, none.
Dude, and he had.
I want people listening to this to like go to their group chats and be like, I just randomly just be like, Tiger Woods was so fucking good in the 2000s. Just a reminder, fellas. Tiger Woods was so fucking good at the game of golf. Just a reminder. That's all this is. Friendly reminder.
It's why no matter where he shows up, people who get to see him for the first time, it's the biggest moment of their sports lives.
Right.
His mere presence, because you are looking at something that will never happen again.
Right.
Ever.
No. Scotty's proving it. Like Scotty had like the year that we can't even conceptualize.
It's great, but it's not even close.
It's not even close, man. It's not even close.
Like I get that the numbers are close and the number of tournaments he's won. Do it 6 or 7 times.
Tiger won 9.
Dude, in 2008, he didn't play after the U.S. Open because of all the surgeries, and he didn't play once in between the Masters and the U.S. Open, which is a 2-month stretch. And he had 4 wins, a 2nd place, and a 5th, and won the U.S. Open.
People don't.
It's every single tournament he entered, he had the chance to win. Which is Scotty like this year? I'm going to give Scotty the benefit of the doubt on that, where it's like every time he tees up the ball, he has a chance and like almost the expectation to win. So he's got that aura around him a little bit, his game, like for 1 year.
No, but Tiger had the aura of fear. Scotty does not have that. Scotty's very nice. Scotty's the nicest dude in the world. Him and Meredith are the golden couple of sports. And like Tiger was like, I don't like any of you, and I'm going to annihilate everybody in this field.
I mean, if we do, we can go through 2000 real quick. Tiger starts out 10th place, and then he goes first, second, 18th, second, first, second, 5th, 4th, first, 23rd, first, 11th, first. By the way, 3 of those were major championships where he won by 15, 8, and then 1 in a playoff. And then he finishes 3rd, 2nd, 5th, 2nd, 1st. And then he would start the next year by he wins the Masters tournament the next year to hold all 4 majors. So it's like that's stretch. And he won the Players Championship. So
that was the 9-win season that he had.
9-win season.
Him and VJ Singh. I think Tiger did it twice, right? Did he do a 9-win season twice, or was it a 6 season?
He
twice?
may have, but he's
man. These
guys will win 1 tournament now, 2 tournaments, and bawl and cry. And I get why, because it's an impossible sport on an impossible tour. And Tiger, he does that in like a month.
Dude, 20 events played that year, 9 wins, 4 runner-up. He finished in the top 25 all 20 times.
20 events, 9 wins, 4 runner-ups.
Yeah, 13 out of 20 he was in first or
7 events out of 20. He's like, all right, I almost 65%
of the time he wins or gets second.
And if you think about the iconicness of those championships, the U.S. Open was at Pebble Beach, the most iconic one they got. He won by 15. The British Open was at St. Andrews, the most iconic one they got.
He won by 15.
He won by 8 at the Open at
Think about that number, 15.
What's the biggest, I guess, Rory, those Rory wins back in the day, those were probably the big, like, what's the biggest margin of victory we've seen within the last 10 years? Rory's got a couple of them.
He won by 8 a couple times. I think he won the Congressional and at Kiowa by 8. I don't think anybody's been Oh, Martin Kaymer might have been 8 strokes maybe in 2014.
But no one's been more than 15, right?
No.
Not even back in like the old Tom Morris days. That's not even competition.
Dude, if somebody wins by 5, it's outrageous. He won by 15.
The other guys in the field could have played 2 more rounds of golf, and they probably still don't beat him.
Not even fucking. They would have been farther away.
That's a good question. Yeah, right. Like how much more golf would the guy in second place have to play to make enough birdies to catch Tiger?
Right. If Tiger's like, all right, I played 4
6 more rounds.
I'm done. And it's probably 4 to 6 more rounds. And Tiger's like, I'm still winning.
He lapped him.
Tiger was 12 under that week, and the next closest was 3 over par.
That's really the fascinating part. Now you're so used to every major being like the winner's 17 under and second place is whatever, 14 under. For the rest of the field not to even get under par, and he goes that much deeper. This has been a Tiger suck fest, but we need people to know.
We need to get
you
back.
Have to
we
know,
need to,
man.
We need to
also like the majors just ended. I don't know what else I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Tiger Woods. I'm talking about Tiger Woods every single time because it's laugh out loud funny how good that guy was. And it's a shame. Like we, to kind of put a bow on the whole thing, he was getting back into form. He was doing it again. He wasn't doing that type of domination, but it was like he was every time he teed it up, he had a chance to win.
Right.
And that wasn't so long ago.
No.
Dude, he had 3 majors in a row where he held the solo lead at one point on the back 9 at Carnoustie in 2018.
And that was when he was going up against Kisner, right?
Kiz.
Wasn't Kiz in the mix?
Kiz was up there, yep.
Who ended up winning that?
That was your boy, Frankie.
That's right.
Then the next major, he finishes second to Brooks Koepka at Bellerive. And then the next major, he wins. So it's like, dude, he was fucking that's 2 years stretch where he was just the guy. I mean, he was sick.
Yep. I'm trying to think of another athlete that I would go back and save. I mean, obviously the DP one hits pretty hard.
One of mine would be Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux had like cancer, and like when he retired, I believe when he retired the first time, he ended up coming back, which is one of the most electric clips of all time. He has like a goal and an assist in his first game back after being out for like 2 years at home in Pittsburgh. Everybody's going crazy. But when he first retired, I think he was the only player to retire in the NHL history who actually averaged over 2 points a game or something like that when he retired. I think he's gone back down since then, but like Mario Lemieux was unbelievable in his time. I don't know that he would have been better than Gretzky or had more points. Gretzky's points are hilariously high, but he was so good.
I watched that Bill Walton documentary, and he had feet problems his whole NBA career, and they were saying if he didn't have those problems, he would have been even better than he was. I mean, he ended up won a title with the Blazers, won the title with the Celtics, but they were saying his feet just like they fell apart once he got to the NBA. So, but who else? I don't know who else would be on that list.
I'm looking up like a list right now. It's a lot of older guys.
Yeah.
Grant Hill.
Yeah.
That's
Greg
a good
Oden.
one. Greg Oden. There's a lot of basketball. Penny Hardaway, I'm seeing.
Yep, that's a big one.
Brandon Roy.
Yeah. Fuck. Brandon Roy. I loved Brandon Roy. And his knees were just gone.
That was like with Aldridge and Oden, right? Wasn't that the whole Blazers
team, yeah.
God,
Brandon Roy was so good.
Terrell Davis, Bill Walton, Sterling Sharp, Ken Griffey Jr. And this has Sidney Crosby on there because of his concussions, but I can see that, I guess. I mean,
I just don't know that like
he only played 22 games in the 2012 season.
Yeah, but that didn't like end his career. I mean, he's playing fully now,
Yeah, no, it's
Bobby Orr had some bad knees. I think Bobby Orr's knee was like shot.
Bobby Orr's on here. There's one, I mean, rest in peace, with Mike Bossy in New York Islanders. I think he has the most goals per game played. He only played, you could look it up, like 10 seasons, and he's up there for like most goals in the NHL. The guy was averaging like 50 to 60 goals a year. It was absolutely preposterous. And then, he just like had bad, I think it may have been knees or back.
Be hard for guys just say like Payne Stewart just like not getting in a plane crash and losing his life.
Yep.
Right. I was going to say Len Bias. That's another one.
Yeah. It'd be hard not to go back and take those guys back. It's a very interesting debate just in terms of like who would be the most impactful on their sports history if you went back and could change something. I just don't know which point you would go back to with Mr. Woods. I really don't.
Yeah.
He's led the most interesting life, dude.
God, he's had a million different surgeries and injuries, and do they all stem from one thing? And if you could go back and just change that one thing, would that be, like it's
and with this is with everybody, I suppose, but he's so interesting. We know 3% of everything.
I know.
Of everything.
I know. That part's
it's even
crazy.
more interesting than we know, which is wild.
I think I said on the last podcast that I was on, but I was like, at some point, one of these bad guys is going to just hit the button and a nuke's going to go off before they die. I need, before I die, to see the full blown Tiger Woods story.
Never gonna happen.
It might, though. It might. That's my hitting the button thing. I need to watch. I need to sit there even when I'm 85 years old. Someone uncovered the whole book that he had written. It was underneath his mattress. And they made the fucking movie, and I'm gonna be sitting in like a lazy boy just watching it. Fuck.
What you would
crazy golf life.
The only way you're getting that is if everyone close to him throughout every point in his life comes forward. Elin comes forward. Stevie Williams comes forward. Robbie Mack comes forward. All these touch tones at each big point do a tell-all, and it's why would they do that?
Right.
I mean, a lot of it's out there, fellas. If you really,
it is. It's a lot.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much you're looking for. A lot. There were hundreds of people coming out with that kind of.
But the really, really, really important ones.
Yeah, but what are they going to say that hasn't already been? You know what I'm saying?
This is what. There's got to be stuff.
Right.
I know what you mean, Riggs, but it's also there's probably more.
There was a crazy winter we had, Trent, a couple 15 years ago.
I know.
Insane.
Wow,
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Shoe launch alert. That is an alert. This is a good alert. Talk all kinds of bad alerts potentially on this show. We're talking good alerts. This is as good of an alert as you can get. Everyone's favorite golf destination for apparel, shoes, style, G4. They're dropping their latest. It's the G18 golf shoe with 2 limited edition colors. So you better hurry. It's backed by research. We're talking optimal performance, unbeatable comfort. New G18. That is a shoe alert. This new shoe is fantastic.
Oh, I wore these shoes, the G18s, in the Boomer and Geo video that Frankie and I did.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as good as I've ever played in my entire life. If you go back and watch that, the shoes that I'm wearing are the G18s. They're just my playing really good shoes. And if you find a pair of playing really good shoes, what else do you need? That's all you need, and that's what the G18s from G4 are for me.
They're incredibly comfortable. They truly are incredibly comfortable. And I got my first pair of these 3 weeks or so ago, and it was right before our 4th of July week. We were off for the entire week. I went out to Wisconsin. I brought 2 pairs of shoes with me. I left 1 pair of shoes at one of the golf destinations. We drove a few hours away. So the only pair I had was the new G18s, the pink. They're bold. G4's bold, but it was all walking rounds. Incredible how comfortable these things are. You could walk on them for round after round after round. Feet never felt bad. In fact, they felt good. So we're talking performance, comfort. You want all that stuff to come together to be married perfectly. We've got ultra modern, unique features, 3 simultaneous levels of traction to keep you extra stable on all types of terrain. That's probably why Trent played so well. So check out the G18 golf shoe and plenty of other shoes, by the way, the Gallivant Tours, the classic Gallivanters, the MG4 Plus. They got all kinds of great shoes, but the new one's the G18 at G4. Don't forget G4.com for 10% off of your first order. That is G4.com/4 for 10% off your first order.
Let's do closest to the pin.
We have closest to the pin?
I got closest to the pin today, yeah.
Wow.
Alex, you want to do all the updates? Gravy Boat Bush?
There he is. If he's nope, no gravy.
One of these
today.
days I'm gonna have gravy.
Nice.
Alex can't believe we're still doing the pod. We haven't done any of the segments yet. I love that.
Oh, it's all good. Got all day tomorrow,
Yeah, we're recording this a day early.
It's nice.
We're recording early because I'm playing Matt Barzal in a 1v1. He called me out in a match. We're playing at Sabonic, which has never, I don't think, ever been filmed on YouTube or Rumble.
Can't believe
anything.
You guys are filming at Sabonic. That is sick.
Yeah, man, it's a top 100 course, easy. It's right out there. It shares the same entrance road as Shinnecock and National. Those 3 are is it how do you say that word? The coup de grace? What is
coup de grace?
Coup de grace. It's the coup de grace of Long Island golf. This section of Hamptons. wow, am I excited about that. He's a 2 and I'm a 4.5. We're going to play straight up.
It's a good golf course for you, Frankie. I think that's a good golf course for you.
Yeah, I played 9 holes there when we were revving up for the Dave versus Brooks lefty match. And like Dave played like 4 holes and like said he didn't want to play there anymore. We were at Sabonic. It was amazing. We just left. And we finished up like the next like 8 holes or whatever it might be I played. And then you could like kind of hit it like a little bit left and right. I looked at like a lot more pictures. Like there are like some wide fairways.
Yeah, I want to say from a driving perspective, it's pretty friendly. And I think it like suits your game very well with the ball striking. The greens are a little bit wild, but I think that'll help you because everybody will be a little fucked on the green.
Yeah, right.
Me and Francis played there one time. It was like early days of us doing the golf stuff here. And it was one of the first like stranger invites ever accepted. And we went out there and played with this kid who was a fan and his dad. They were super nice. And I remember Michael Phelps was in the group in front of us. And then another guy that was there that ended up getting canceled afterwards was Matt Lauer was out there. He was on the driving range. I remember we went over, we introduced ourselves because Francis is very Lurch-esque in a lot of these situations where he kind of just like walks right up to people and introduced himself. We chatted with Michael Phelps and with Matt Lauer for a little while, and they were very nice on the tee.
Yeah, that's a big one for me coming up. And like it's just one of those crazy, like I'm such a psychotic Islanders fan, so to play like a golf match against the best player on the Islanders, like you tell that to me 5 minutes ago and I'm like peeing my little panties. You tell me to that 10 years ago and I'm having a legitimate heart attack. Like we also Frank Borelli senior style.
We need a win against the Islanders. We're 0-1 against the Islanders. I think.
We need a win. He's been playing some serious golf. Like he shot like a 77 from the tips at Bethpage Black the other day. Like I was like, that would have done well at the US Open. Like that's a good number. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going to give it everything I got. I really am. I'm going to give it everything I got. That's going to be a big one for me tomorrow. So very excited, but let's do close to the pin. Alex Bush, you read off the results from last week.
Yep. So last week, first one was number of bathrooms in the White House.
Oh.
So there were 35. Riggs had 33.
Wow.
Was close.
Actually, Trent had 30.
I was going to say, I think I was in the 30s.
Yeah, Trent had 30. I had 31. And then Dan and Frankie were way off.
How many are there? There's 35.
How big is that fucking White House? I thought you guys said it was small.
Holy smokes. What did I answer in the 20s?
You had 21.
Damn.
Dan had 13. Just not even fucking close.
All right.
5 bathrooms.
And then Lucas Glover's score, round 2 of the Open.
Oh.
He shot a 78.
Oh.
So, Frankie, 77.
Come on.
Yep.
Well done.
Oh, that's right. I got squeezed there. I remember that.
Yeah, you were 76, right? And then highest single round score, like highest score.
Oh, wasn't someone like 17 over through like 15 holes?
No. So the highest one, 91.
Oh, shit.
Aguri Iwasaki.
He made back-to-back 9s.
Back-to-back 9s.
91 in round 2.
Holy fuck.
Who won that?
Yeah, it's wild. Dan won that. He had 86.
Oh.
That was the closest.
What did I say?
You said 84.
Fuck me.
Colt, our friend Colt Nost, he had a very funny, we were like having a beer and he saw that the worst ball score that day was 128 and he was like, could you beat that? Like, could you literally beat the worst score from every hole that the pros shot? And I was like, yes, but there's a chance. No, for sure. Like you could go out there, dude, in some of those tees, like that 11th tee or the 10th hole, where like if you're you could hit 5 tee shots in a row and not be off that fucking tee yet.
True.
It was violent out there.
I mean, you could make a 10 on every hole easily.
He's for sure. It was playing impossible.
Yeah.
And then, so last one was pitches thrown by Garrett Cole on Friday.
Ooh, this is me.
103. Frankie with 99.
Yep.
Wow.
We were at Brendan Jones's wedding. Shout out to Brendan Jones.
Yeah, we were talking about that at the wedding.
Our super producer, Brendan Jones. Briggs got absolutely fucked. I don't know if you guys talked about that already. Probably in the last show.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you still seeing how fucked people are? I'm seeing all these videos are coming out right
Boston.
now. Oh.
I'm supposed to go to Boston on Friday for pickleball.
We still looking for females?
Yeah, Barstool Pickleball.
Any women
go to that website. I'm sure there's still like 1 or 2 spots available. I mean, Justin Mancini hasn't said anything, so maybe it's all sold out. But I think I might just take the train up there because I'm not dealing with any of that bullshit. I saw people like sleeping at Delta terminals still right now.
Dude, there was a crazy viral video from Sky Harbor of people screaming at like the gate agent, and I look at the background and it's gate F2. I was gate F12. Like that was just me.
Wow.
I was right down the fucking street, just like going.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Shit. Oh, it's bad.
So I went up to Alex Bush mid wedding and I just showed him Garrett Cole's pitch count, and I was like, "That's a point on the board for me.
That's a win. That's a win."
Yep.
I don't think I scored a single fucking point last week.
Yeah, Trent, you did not score a point. So
creeping back.
Trent 46 right now in the lead, and then the rest of us are close, not to him, but to each other. Alex 35, Riggs 34, Dan 34, Frankie 33.
Okay. All right. So our closest to Trent is 11 back. He's at 46.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Right. I think it's getting better.
I told Trent today when he goes on vacation, we're gonna try and take his points.
Yeah,
so.
we'll do 10. We'll do 10 questions each week.
10 pointers.
All right.
It's actually a par 3.
Do a bunch of yes or no. Do a bunch of yes or no questions.
I'll quit. All right. I got close to the pin this week. The Olympics are coming up. I think they start Friday. Is that
Friday
what
night?
Ceremonies
I think is the opening. Yeah,
Friday's opening ceremony.
All right, so that's exciting. Always exciting when the Olympics come around. Team USA basketball all over the news. So I figured we'd do a couple of those. What will the margin of victory be in the USA versus Serbia basketball game on Sunday, July 28th? This Sunday, Team USA going up against Serbia. What will be the margin of victory in that game? Doesn't matter who wins. Probably going to be Team USA, I would imagine. But just margin of victory for whoever wins that basketball game.
Wow.
Margin of victory.
I don't know if I'm in the fuck.
I don't even know what the line is. I'd have to check DraftKings.
Yeah, that's dicey. We could be 20 points off.
All right. Riggs 8, Trent 19.
Oh.
Frankie 19, Alex 16.
19? What the fuck?
Why did you pick 19?
On the number.
I don't know.
I feel like
why did you pick 19?
Supposed to blow everybody out, and then didn't we like almost lose to South Sudan or something?
Yeah, I think the warm-up games, the victories haven't been that big. So I don't know. Sticking with that game for now, how many points, rebounds, and assists combined will LeBron have in that game? Points, rebounds, assists combined for LeBron in the Serbia game.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Sorry, can you read that again? I'm trying to do the math here.
So how many points, rebounds, and assists will LeBron have combined? LeBron James. Wow, I haven't watched that clip in a long time.
LeBron James.
I
don't know. Pick the round number.
All right. Trent 43. Riggs 46. Frankie 40.
All right.
Alex 42.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank God.
All right. Moving on, 3M this week, a tournament that holds a special place in our hearts. That's where Callum Tarrant and Sam Ryder, I believe.
Yep.
We played in a pro-am with those two, and haven't stayed as close, at least me personally, as Sam Ryder, but Callum Tarrant is our guy.
Unbelievable guy. Absolutely unbelievable guy. We actually played golf here the week before the Phoenix Open this year, and caddies that we had, I saw him like a couple months later, and they're like, of all the PGA Tour guys I've caddied for, I think he was the nicest and favorite guy that we've ever caddied for. So that guy's just a legend.
Super nice guy. I mean, Sam Ryder, I haven't stayed in contact with him, but every time we see him at an event, he makes his way over to us, gives us a nice dap up. I know him and Brock Nelson, who played with us in that event, they went back and forth about staying at your highest level competitively and like talking about like how they like focus during a round of golf versus playing hockey. They really hit it off. So I think Brock's a big Sam Ryder.
You weren't part
fan.
of that. You weren't part of that conversation.
No, I didn't get into that. I didn't get into that.
How to stay at peak level when you're a professional athlete? That's
no.
All right, with the 3M, how many birdies will Billy Horschel have during his Friday round at the 3M? I saw he was there, made a commitment, stuck to it. That's our guy, Billy. He was on the range grinding at 7:30 this morning. How many birdies will Billy Horschel have at the 3M on Friday?
Speaking of 3M and flights, I saw Wesley Bryant had to drive to the 3M from because of all the flight issues. I think he drove like 17 hours or something.
Change my shit. I'm going to change my shit around. There's no way I'm flying. I don't want to risk that. I got to fly on Sunday anyway. I'd rather it all clear up.
Especially your Delta guy. I think Delta's like the worst one right now.
It is bad right now.
Yeah.
We all in?
Yep. Frankie 4, Trent 5, Alex 5, Riggs 7.
All right, Billy.
Okay.
Come on, Billy.
Come on, Billy.
Come on, Billy.
We're rooting for you.
Big time rooting for you.
So an eagle doesn't count.
No.
Yeah, is it birdies or birdies are better? When I did in the past, I said birdies are better.
Birdies are better.
Oh, that's fucked. All right.
All right. And then the last one, I'm glad you brought up your match with Barzal because the last one is what will Frankie Borelli shoot at Sabonic tomorrow?
Wow.
Incredible.
You know? Should we talk about it? You guys talked about it a little bit, like how you feeling? I actually played with you today. So I have a little bit of insight there, but
you looking at the wind at all? You looked at any because it can be windy there on the coast.
The weather's gonna be a little nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like possible rain. I didn't, and I'll be straight. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't play great today.
No, you didn't.
I shot 38 though. Like I still scored okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I made a couple birdies. That always helps. We made 2 birdies, but we also played up. I played up, so like, all right. I'm gonna throw a number in here. Fuck, man. I mean, I'd be happy with this number, but I'm gonna throw it in.
I know, like, I don't want to insult the guy, but I don't want to be like,
no. Be honest. It's okay.
94.
Very possible.
It's a hard golf course, right?
It is a hard golf course. It's definitely a hard golf course.
It is.
Okay.
It's also match play, so like keep that in mind. I'm sure it's not going to be as like it's a very intense match play, and I think that if I'd be putting for a bogey and he's already in for a bird, he's probably going to be like, scoop it up, let's go to the next one. So then I know people get on you, but that's what match play is. Like you literally concede the hole.
Part of the game. You're somebody's guest out there. You can't be just putzing around all day.
All right. Frankie 78. Trent 83.
All right.
Riggs 79.
Huh? Wow.
Alex 83.
You asshole, dude. Come on.
Those are 2 guys.
Dude, if you break 80, and I don't know a ton about Sabonic. I don't know shit about that place.
No,
but
it's a tough spot.
That seems like legit if you break 80 out there.
These guys saw my game today. They saw my game today, which makes me nervous. You know, they both watched me play today.
Yeah, and they're both in the 80s.
Oh,
they're both in the 80s coming out.
Yeah.
Don't love that.
No, it definitely wasn't like my strongest day. Like I was just kind of little all over the place. My putting wasn't great. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to be ready tomorrow. I'm going to be fucking fired up tomorrow. Can I control that is the question.
We had a couple shorts guys on this show. One of them's been recently converted. That is Trent Ryan. His legs are looking good. He's got all kinds of sun and all kinds of color going on the bottom part of those legs, on those calves. And the shorts that he's rocking are new favorite shorts from Peter Millar, the Bingham Performance Short.
I love them. I really do. And sometimes I'll be at home by myself, no shoes, no socks, looking at my feet, how white they are compared to my legs. And I think that I did the right thing here. They look great. They feel great. I know Frankie doesn't like to talk about his temperature, but my temperature when I'm wearing these shorts is amazing. I really love it. And I'll never go back. Never, ever. You couldn't pay me to go back. Really.
Forever. He's forever shorts guy.
Forever.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Get this. They're made from a high-performance Italian fabric. So they're doing everything they can here to try to lure Frankie into this.
Come on, buddy.
An unbelievable amount of stretch. Features a zipper security pocket so you can safely stash essentials. They're made by Peter Millar, so obviously, of course, they're perfect on the golf course. They also shine as an everyday casual short, ready for anything the summer may bring. You're going to an outing, a dinner, a work event, whatever you might be going to. These are going to be the shorts for you. Head on over to petermillar.com/foreplay. Check out the Bingham Performance Short, as well as the rest of Peter Millar's luxury level crown crafted lineup. That link is petermillar.com/foreplay. Huge match. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's a good match. I mean, he's becoming a superstar in the league now. I mean, he won the Calder. He's our guy. He's the guy with the hair. He's going to all the All-Star games. He's good looking. He's the superstar of my team. And it's awesome to be able to go play a match with him. I'm sure the other guys are going to hate this segment. The other guys on the team are not going to like this. I'm going to get a text from Matt Martin, Brock Nelson. it's a weird world I'm living in. Me and Trent talked a lot today during a video that we did about like the fact that we get to do this as a job. And I know we've talked about this with you, Riggs. It's like how the world has gotten to the point where like this is acceptable for people to watch and be entertained by. And like for me to be able to like be associated with my like the thing that makes me the craziest and like the thing I think I love the most in the world, which is the New York Islanders, the history of it. I grew up with it. I know more memories at the Coliseum than I do at my own house. Like I just remember them more. And it's like, all right, you grow up. There's a guy. He's like the superstar on the team. I've had superstars on the team before. One of them left me because he wore fucking pajamas once and he went back to Toronto.
Sure.
Now I have this new guy. And like now we're like he's picking me up tomorrow to go play a match at like the greatest golf course on Long Island. You know what I mean? Like it's and then like
Crazy.
The fact that we're able to do that and I'm not making pizzas anymore and people are going to watch that video and get entertained by it. In no way was the world set up for mediocre like people at their craft to be enjoyed and like encouraged for that to be the job that they can go. You know what I'm saying? Like I was bringing up like Roman times, Riggs, where it's like you had to be the best at what you did to like be successful. Like this is the only time in the world where people are like, oh, it's relatable that these guys that aren't that good, like entertain me. You know what I mean? Like even if you're in like a comedy on TV show, you're the best at acting in your role. And that's why you have that TV performance. That's why you have that character. Like we're just like, we suck. You want to watch us?
Dude, honestly, 3 or 5 years earlier or later. And I don't think like our job exists. And like,
For
or
sure.
we could have, or we would have been in the position to snag it or acquire. Like our skill set happened to pop at that right time,
right?
For where it was, the market was ripe for everything came together. Everything in the world came together. It was like podcasts were popping off. Dave was hiring people. People wanted to be entertained on YouTube. You could literally just create, film, and upload your own videos like on YouTube, on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, all at that exact same time. We happen to be pretty good at like talking about golf and talking about other bullshit while we play golf. It kind of resonated. And that happened in like one couple year period in the history of Earth, basically.
It is wild how fast the status quo of anything changes. We just know about our business because we're in it. But like us signing the TaylorMade deal, big, huge, unprecedented deal. Now, just a few years later, everybody's got a deal. So it's like that, just us like playing a scramble against a pro, having a pro in your videos, having Kevin Kisner at Pinehurst #2. Yeah. One of the biggest things. And it hit like a rocket because people are like, why are they playing with these regular guys? You look at the landscape now, everybody has a guy.
Right, you're making a good point, Trent. It's not like we just like existed while doing those things. Like I'm kind of painting it as though like we always had a podcast and we always played against pros and somehow, some way it became popular. Like we actually like made it popular, which is even more fucked up. Where it's like we like went out and we're like, oh, podcasts are big. We have to start a podcast. And like, oh, like I think that like putting things on YouTube would be good. And you know what would pop as a video is if we played a match against a pro that's never been done on YouTube. Should we call up our one close friend and have him meet us during COVID? Sure, let's do it. And like it was like constantly evolving. So yeah, I guess that is like you got to give yourself a little pat on the back kind of moment where it's like it's not we didn't just step in shit. Yes, we did for the situation that we're in, but you had to build it. You had to fucking build it.
Had to, and we deserve a little bit of a pat, sure. But I also would say, like 10 years earlier, dude, like there wouldn't have been an outlet for us to even do that if we had.
No, I'm making pizzas, yeah.
You know, the skill set. We would like, what would we have done? We would have talked it like, what? We would have gone into like journalists. Like, what would we have done?
No, I don't know.
There's nothing we would have done.
If Dave Portnoy doesn't like get born, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh my God. I
don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
My life is a billion times worse. And that's that's not sucking up. That's hard.
I'll suck up.
No, but it's even if it's that, it's the other side of it is also just hard truth. Yeah. He created a media brand where you didn't have to have journalistic credentials.
But yeah, it's insane.
Right.
10 years from now, like, where's it going to be in 10 years? Like, if we're 4 years into this and it's everything that we thought was going to be the biggest thing in the world is what everyone is doing, 10 years, who knows?
It's amazing. And like, and the way that it's evolving, and we've been good at being able to at least adapt to the way it's evolving. Sure, it's been a little bit of a learning curve, like even just in our existence of being a YouTube Rumble golf brand, whatever it may be. We've had to now pivot to like clearly like there's different types of videos that pop off now. There's more brands, there's all this stuff. So we're doing that. But it was like, you know, I was talking with Trent today about just like how we feel like, you know, we're so lucky that people care about like the mediocrity of our game. Like it's the only time in the world that mediocrity actually sells. But I think that only sells in the beginning. And now what you're seeing is that people stick along and they actually care about the progress of our games in the game of golf. If you're keeping it strictly to golf, like they actually genuinely care about it, whether they hate on it with rigs and like they're like, why are you not getting better? And for me, it's like, why weren't you hitting your wedges? I heard about it for fucking 4 years. Like, just figure it out. You get paid to play golf. They care very deeply about our actual games as opposed, like, it's like the relatability gets them in the beginning. And that's the thing that was very strange to me. But now I understand why they stick around. Like, I'm a fan of Breaking 90, even though I'm sitting in the cart. I would watch that every single day just to see if he accomplishes it. That accomplishments are something that's always been successful since the dawn of time.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like like someone setting a goal and going to accomplish it. That is riveting stuff. The fact that we've been able to build a brand around the stuff before that is, to me, what's unbelievable. But like what Trent has been able to do, and like what we all try and do with our games, show like the improvement and that we care, and like, hey, I'm going to set a goal and I'm going to go finish it and I'm going to try and beat it. And if I don't, I'll go out for the next episode. Like that's the type of shit that works. And we compare ourselves to other brands all the time. We're like, sometimes they don't have that thing where it's like there's an actual event, like breaking 80. What we can talk about it. We're going to do breaking 85 next, which might be breaking news. But like that's like the breaking. Trent shoots an 84 is like the difference between where he started and where he finished is so fucking preposterous that if you were on that ride, like that's one of the more entertaining things that you can watch in your lifetime. If you're into golf and you've watched every episode, watching a guy go from 128 to 84 in a couple of years is a hell of a fucking ride to be on.
Yeah. I thank God every day that people care about that.
Right.
Like, because that's, and people do, and people are awesome about it. And we have a lot of fun doing it. It's been like the most fun thing to do. But there's a world where people are like, I don't really care about that, but people do, and that's why we have jobs, and it's huge.
500,000 people watched the last episode.
Dude, before it was even like golf YouTube, I remember Trent's first real time that I can remember film was Bethpage Black, and we played from like the blue tees or whatever, which are not easy, but like 6,900 yards or whatever they are. And Trent Daddy just kept his own score like in a notes app on his phone on each hole, just writing down what number did he make on each hole and just added them up at the very end. And whatever that number was, it was way higher than, the 88 that you shot. But like that is the beauty of the game of golf, is that there's almost no other game like it that anybody plays. That's a sport that's as social as it is, but that you could also truly like work on your game and be out there trying to improve your game. Like, I don't know anybody that's really out there trying to improve their basketball game. Like maybe they jump out in their driveway and they like try to, they shoot hoops or they whatever, or they play in their league every week. And I know plenty of buddies that play men's league, beer league, hockey, and it's great, but they're not working on their game. Like they're not on fucking YouTube
playing games,
working on their stride. They show up, they have some beers, they try to beat the other team through sheer like passion and competitiveness, and that's it. Golf's this insanely cool, interesting battle with yourself where you're always trying to get better and there's nerves involved and it's crazy. And it's like somehow that kind of translates to people. And it is cool that people care about it, because I think everybody kind of cares about their own game to some degree,
Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
100%, man.
What a game.
100%. What a game is right. So, yeah, thanks to everyone. Go watch the videos. Subscribe. We got to hit 500,000. That's a big benchmark for the fellas. We like never really put any effort in until like a couple years ago. And I feel like we were late to that game of like pushing people to do shit. 500,000, we got to do something big.
Okay.
There's always these things you can give away.
Plaque or something?
We can we'll get a cool plaque, I think. But like we always like the giveaways work. We get a lot of shit and we can give stuff to the people. And like there's a way that you can go into these apps and like you can actually give away stuff to one of the 500,000 people. So like all it is like if they just subscribe, we put this into this algorithm thing, it shoots out a name, and then we reach out to that person.
I saw Bryson was doing that and giving away a little bit of money to people that subscribe. That's great. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Fucking give shit away. Kidding me? All kinds of cool shit around here.
Drivers and wedges and clubs. It's like, dude. And if we actually are like, because we give away everything that we do. Like I still am so mad at that one guy that I sent that fucking staff bag to.
Never said anything
thank you to me. Cost me $250 to ship that thing in the middle of like, it was right after Black Friday. It was like the holiday season. It was snowing out, I think. I remember going to a UPS being like, I got to ship this thing. And they were like, this is a nightmare. We had to put boxes inside a box. He's like, it's going to be $300. And the guy never even answered if he got it. But we do send this shit out. So if all it takes is hitting the subscribe button to like get the potential of getting sent something really cool, go do it.
Go do it. Go subscribe for us. All right, everybody. Yeah, that's a hell of a show. I like when we get a little trip down memory lane. We're talking about current events going on in the world. Got a little bit wild there. At one point, I think I was basically Isaac Newton. Is that who got hit in the head by an apple and was like, what the hell's going on? I was dropping my pin.
Gravity.
Like, I can't believe gravity exists. So it was a little bit of a wild show.
Trump,
the majors,
God. We talked
majors
Tiger.
are over, man. What else are we going to do? What else are we going to talk about in this world? We do got Olympic golf coming up. We do got, I saw there's only 2 events left, and then the playoffs start on the PGA Tour. I saw we've got Solheim Cup coming up, which we're going to be at the Solheim Cup. We're going to have some merchandise involved in that. And then we've got President's Cup. That's in Montreal, which is an incredibly cool city. So a lot of cool stuff still coming up, but majors are over. So we're kind of talking about God and presidential elections and gravity and who knows what. So thanks for coming along for the ride. It's been a hell of a ride. I do think I was looking at this hat earlier and I was kind of thinking about like the logo and Barstool Golf and like what that means. And I think we did a very good job walking down kind of memory lane of what that truly means. And it's like taking Barstool Sports and how cool that is and how powerful that brand is and doing the golf version of that is kind of what we've been able to do somehow and get there. And it's been fun. So we very much appreciate you listening. Appreciate all of our sponsors. Trent, you got anything else? So it looks like you want to say something.
No, I think I'm good.
I got to shoot this basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys don't mind.
Haven't made one yet. Only done it twice, I believe.
Yeah, only 0 for 2. That's not bad. Last one was extremely close. First one was an air ball.
Just feel it, man. Just like really get into it.
Maybe see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Here we go.
Oh.
All right. Shit.
Maybe next week. There's always next week. So tune in, see if Frankie can make the basketball shot. Hit it hard.
Damn it.
Hit it hard.
I suck ass.